Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Let's take a look at this last stack of books here that's on top of these crates because let me show you real quick what I'm going to do. So here's what we have right here that we're going to go through. And then we have a shelf top or shelf that's going to go on top of there, like I'll show you like I did right over here. Oh, geez. What's his name? M. Bison. You know, I saw this M. Bison last night and I said, you know what? He looks like he might fall. So I'm glad we sat him back up. Do you see that? That M. Bison fell down sometime. I don't know when that happened, but we need to get back to him. It's my Street Fighter figures. Hey, I think we're going to start doing toy reviews again, and I think we'll do the toy reviews over here. And I'm going to, this is my latest thing I've been into, or Street Fighter, and then also I've got this G.I. Joe Snake Eyes 6 scale figure here that I've had for a couple of years or so, and I just took it out the other day to take a look at and play with a little bit and set up, and I thought I should do a review of this. Anyway, come on, let's go look at these books because that's what we're doing is we're getting rid of these books so we can put, look, there's the shelf right there, so we can put that shelf on top of here. All right, so let's look through these books. I think this should be enough space. This is a little painting that was done by the artist John Gores. This is looks to be acrylic, and then he applicated onto a card, onto like a postcard, or onto a postcard, and sent it to me. And it's pretty darn cool. And it is the Tombs of the Blind Dead. Okay. John Gores. He's on YouTube. Check out his YouTube channel. Goras. John Gores. He just posted a new animated video just recently. You should all check out. Let's get to the books. So I feel like we have a little stack here in the front. See this? Let's hit this first. Let's do this stack in the front first. So that's what we're going to be doing. But you'll be looking at the stack we're going to hit next after this. All right, so this is another one of my bird books. It's the Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Birds. It's the Eastern region. A little bit dusty. This is a nice edition. Look at this. Whew, so many color pictures, photographs. Look at all of these birds of all sorts. This is the Eastern United States, North America, I think it said actually. Okay, this is great. So this will go with my other bird books, obviously. It's not going to go with where these books go because there's another spot where I have bird books. This is another book that was given to me by my mother. It's called Instant Lives by Howard Moss. And the reason why I wanted it, and the reason why I always liked it, was because it had illustrations by Edward Gorey in here, which I liked Edward Gorey's art from the time I was about 8 or 9, I think is when I first saw that book and got that book Amphigory. So she gave me this. It's here. And we should reread it. I remember going through this whole thing and reading this when I was a kid, probably about 12. All right. Next, Tom Brokaw, The Greatest Generation. This is a very famous book, like some sort of a bestseller or something. I got this at like a Goodwill or a thrift store for a couple bucks. Never read it, still haven't read it. I should read it. It's going to be on the shelf now. Let's get to it. All right, this would be something good to go read at the coffee shop, wouldn't it? Not really. The Book of Five Rings, a classic text of samurai sword strategy. How delightful is this? It's Miyamoto Musashi. Oh boy, it's beautiful, isn't it? My son gave me this. Nice, huh? Look at that. Wow. That's beautiful. The advantage when exchanging blows. It's just beautiful, isn't it? So there's all kinds of lessons in here to be learned about life through the context of war. Okay, let's move on from the Book of Five Rings, which is just delightful. I'm going to leave that out. It doesn't really fit on a regular shelf because of the size. So this is a nice book. I haven't looked through this in so long, like probably 10 years since I've gone through this, and I want to go through this page by page, do it again. I suggest you do it as well. There's a lot to be learned in here. You should read this stuff in here. It's really good. What does it say on the back? The Book of Five Rings, first published in the 17th century, is the classic text of samurai strategy, written by an undefeated master of the sword. This colorfully illustrated new edition vividly interprets the teachings of Miyamoto Musashi and the era of the last shoguns, when the way of the sword was a sacred way of life. This guy. Undefeated samurai. So we got to leave this out. Okay, moving right along. Who's this? Dwight from The Office? Art Crazy Nation. I don't think it's Dwight from The Office. I think it's Matthew Collings, but it looks like he's, yeah. Anyway. Last, a book about the British art world, which is sympathetic and informed, but not at all afraid to be incredibly rude. All right, so this is either thrift store or side of the street in San Francisco. I think this might be like on the street in San Francisco is where I found this book. And there's lots of cool images in here, if I remember right. I mean, look at this guy. I don't know. There might be some cool images in here. I don't remember. I haven't seen anything I like yet. What the fuck? Why do I have this? Why do I own this? It's probably just for that one picture. Just for this one image right here might have been the reason why I picked this up and kept it. This little spot right here in here. This looks pretty good. On behalf of the Orange Men of Drumcree and loyal orders everywhere, my husband and I demand the right to march. I don't get that, but my friend might get that. He might understand what this all is about, because this is about the British art scene, probably in the early 2000s. Some of it looks cool. Ooh, naked cavemen. All right, so maybe we won't get rid of this. We need to look through it and, I don't know, do something with it. All right, let's get to the real books. All right, this is the Essential Teachings. Hold on, let me turn this TV off. This is the Essential Teachings of the Dalai Lama. I got this in San Francisco somewhere. It's also pretty cool. So I read this, and I'm pretty sure my son read this too. Oh, what's in? Oh, it's just a Walgreens receipt. You want to see what it is? I wanted to make sure it didn't have anything on it. I'm Brandy. It says Walgreens, the Pharmacy America Trust. I'm Brandy. I'm here to serve you with our 7 service basics. I'm sorry. Brandy. I can't tell what this person bought. They used debit? Oh, look it. So they only bought something for $3.99, which totaled $4.32. And then they used the debit card and got $60 cash back. It was at Adeline Street in Berkeley. 20 2501 Adeline Street in Berkeley. This location of Walgreens probably doesn't exist anymore. Thank you for faster service. What's the date? What? January 12th, 2003. That's kind of cool. We need to put that back inside of the Dalai Lama book. 2003. Gosh, the heck were you doing? At 12, what were you doing at 12:49 p.m. January 12th, 2003? You probably, unless you owned this book or were reading this book at the time, you probably weren't at the Walgreens in Berkeley. All right, next book, Ira 11, The Boys from Brazil. So I saw this movie first when it first came out when I was a kid. My mother already had the book and had read the book. And then I liked the movie when I was about 12 when this came out. Does that sound about right? 76, 77, right around there. I really liked it. I was into this type of thing. And it's a great story. And look, this is hers. So then after the movie, she told me that the book was better, and I read the book, and now she gave it to me eventually. Now here it is. Classic fight scene in this movie that they turned into one of those those weird little skits that they used to do on that cartoon, The Family Guy. But there's a great a portion of the climax of the film is this fight scene between like these two old guys, like septuagenarians, like it's like Gregory Peck versus Laurence Olivier, and it's pretty good, man. All right, you gotta see it. All right, this is called The Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey. This was popular. It's real dusty. I don't feel like getting my hand on it right now. This used to have a dust cover on it, but it got ripped and tore off. I remember at one point my girlfriend read this. It was in the garage for a long time. I began reading this in about 9th or 10th grade and didn't finish it. I could go back to it. It's pretty thick. It's supposed to be really good, like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll pass it on to somebody who likes that sort of thing. One of my kids or one of my daughter-in-laws probably is who I mean. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try and read it again and see if I get into it. And then if I get into it and I really like it, then maybe I'll give it to one of the kids. Because all my kids like sword and sorcery and read like fantasy, science fiction stuff. Chris Stefanik, Living Joy. 9 rules to help you rediscover and live joy every day. All right, I remember where this book came from. This book came from the lobby of my old apartment building in San Francisco. There used to be a lobby with an elevator and like a couch and a chair and a couple fake plants and a table and another table and like all the mailboxes. So one day I go and then all the time, occasionally people leave stuff on the tables. Okay, sometimes they leave baked goods on the tables. Sometimes it'll be like an old lady in the building who bought too much of something and it's going to expire in a couple days. So there'll be like a 12-pack of blueberry muffins that expires in 2 days. It'll just be sitting on the table and it will just say, please take some. Something like that. But one day I go by there and there's a stack of books. There was like not a huge stack, but there was like 3 or 4 of these books. So I imagine one of the ladies in the building went to church. And because I think this is Catholic. Yeah, graduate of Franciscan University. Isn't that Catholic? Augustine Institute. That's interesting. Yeah, look, real life Catholic. My father went to Augustine College. I wonder if that's related to Augustine Institute. Or Augustine University. I don't know what it is. That's where he went to school. All right, I haven't read this yet, but I picked it up because it was sitting in the lobby, and I was like, oh, Living Joy, and I read that front of it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think when I turned it over and checked out the back, too, before I jumped in the elevator, you know me. Maybe, but yeah, if you watch these videos, you know me. I looked to see, okay, what the heck is this? And I was like, oh, it's Catholic. Okay. All right, let's get moving. We're going to keep going. We're at 14 and a half minutes. This is an old Boy Scout handbook that I found somewhere. This isn't my actual Boy Scout handbook. I was never a Boy Scout. I got kicked out of the Cub Scouts and banned I never even was allowed to be a Weebelo. I'll tell the story sometime later. I might have told it before, but we could go into it again. But they didn't want me in the Boy Scouts or the Cub Scouts or the Weebelos. This is a really awesome cover, man. I really like this. I had a lot of friends, cousins that made it all the way to Eagle Scouts. My sons had also friends that were Eagle Scouts. I always wanted to do this, but at the same time, I didn't because it was so much freaking work, bro. So much memorization, and look at all this stuff. This is such a cool book. I think everybody should own one of these. This could teach you how to basically do everything in life. This is preparing for the apocalypse, is learning what they teach Boy Scouts. Not kidding. Look at this. What year is this Boy Scout handbook? It says Mike Sipes. I think I got this on the street in San Francisco, out of a box, out of, just like a pile of books and stuff that I would find all the time. January 71, 7th printing. This is just delightful. Have I said delightful already? I think I called Musashi's book delightful. This is just as delightful as Musashi, as samurai strategic tactics. This is just as delightful as that. It's chopping heads off. Oh, look at this. This is just so cool. I like this. I need to keep this out and go through that. All right. Here's a cool book. This is Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, an unauthorized autobiography by Chuck Barris. They made a movie out of this. That's why this has got the, what's his name? Sam Rockwell. He did a great job in this movie. Great movie. Read this book. My son read this book. We both love this book. Love this story. Chuck Barris is hilarious in here. Just the first couple pages are hilarious. Like oh, look, here's a Hot Wheels card. But this right here is so funny. Like, I mean, everything's funny. If you remember the Gong Show and you remember Chuck Barris, here within he tells us that he used to work for an intelligence agency and was a secret agent the whole time that he was making game shows. Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. Got this at a used bookstore. Read some of this. I remember reading this on the bus. Isn't that funny? Isn't that cool? Like, I'm all San Francisco, right? Got my beanie, my Army field jacket, hunkered down. Blood of the Beast. And I sat and I was reading, learning about Eldridge Cleaver and Soul on Ice, living life in the city. But before that, I was in my second marriage, and she said I needed this book, and she gave me this book called Codependent No More by Melody Beatty. I read a little bit of it, but I never read the whole thing, but I still have it. This is left over. I keep it as a reminder of how much I can't stand my ex-wife. Look at this. Look at the dichotomy of this. So this came before this, right? I like that. How life works. This is The Invisible Man, but it's not the Invisible Man that you think. It's not the Invisible Man, Claude Rains, The Invisible Man. It's Ralph Ellison, The Invisible Man. It's a classic. Whew. Look at that. First published in 1952 and immediately hailed as a masterpiece. So this is about black and white relations in the United States of America. And it's, I would say, sort of allegorical. Is that the right word for it? We got to keep moving. This is Kitchen Confidential: Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly by Anthony Bourdain. Wow. So this was his big bestseller breakout book that happened right at the beginning of his television career. And right when we were all getting to know who he was, he had this bestseller. And this helped him, this propelled his career. And it's a great book, and I need to give it to my son. We're almost done because we're almost out of time. This is another, I was going to say, I thought this was Umberto Eco, but it's A Trip to the Stars by Nicholas Christopher. I haven't read it yet. It has a beautiful cover, and it says really cool stuff in the back. We have only 2 books left. We have this Chuck Palahniuk book. What's this one called? Rant. I think I started reading this, but didn't finish it. Pretty sure an oral biography of Buster Casey. My son read this and said, Dad, read this. It's really good. But I haven't. Look, this might be as far as I got right here. That might be where I stopped, on page 17. And then the last thing we're going to look at was some sort of a Christmas gift from years and years ago when I was young, from one of my family members. It's one of those Douglas Adams books. It's Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Everybody said this is one of his funnest ones and that I should read it. It's really good. Somebody gave it to me for Christmas one year, years ago, when I was like in my late teens, early 20s. And I mean, I don't think I ever even opened the book. Did you hear that? I've never even read this, never even opened it. That was it. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you next time. It was kind of cool. I mean, this wasn't a bad one. It's been a while since we looked at books. Thanks for hanging out with me. I don't know if I told any good stories. All right. Later.